Parish Council may be recorded under the Openness to Local Government Regulations 2014. Devices are to be placed on the table provided throughout the meeting. Okay, and we'll go to the general public. If there's any comments or questions, I'd like to put to the council. Yeah, let's go.
At the amenities meeting on the 4th of March, it was circulated to councillors present by Susie Sherritt a picture of the loose bolts on the youth shelter. However, the conversation then took place was more about the company who inspected it and the methodology that they used, i.e. no corrosion, it would not tip over. Do you not think that the best course of action would be to get the bolts replaced and secured immediately, as it is obviously not safe, and that all future surveys have loose bolts, missing bolts, as part of the survey? Plus, it was also revealed the parish had spent £2,305 on repairs of the shelter, and it is now a skeleton of its former glory. Can the parish confirm if any of this money has been recouped from WMDC, as they own the ground and the shelter? And I quote from a report, Wakefield Youth Development Support Services are responsible for the weekly inspections, the council playgrounds teams for the annual inspections, and the parish council, along with Wakefield Youth Development Support Service, for general maintenance. So basically, WMDC and the parish are responsible for it. Can you also confirm if Ackworth are picking up the tab for the safety report? And if so, is this being cross-charged back to WMDC? And lastly, you'd be glad to hear, the same company has passed the swings at Carr Bridge that also have loose fittings, using the same criteria as the youth shelter. Does this not raise concerns that require immediate attention?
So at the amenities meeting, my understanding was we got an explanation about, because we raised some of those questions about the audit report. Obviously, we're not responsible. It's an independent auditor. They come out and do their checks, and they produce their report. We've had, when Councillor Sherritt raised the issues about specifically the youth shelter, we've had our caretakers go down and have a look at this, and we're looking into taking on board those safety issues that have been raised. And again, the same thing has been mentioned regarding the Carr Bridge playground and some of the issues there as well. So, the requirement is that we have these things independently audited and inspected. That's been done. We're not responsible for that company and what they find. We can question things like we have done, but we don't control that company. We don't. We can look at different auditors for future inspections. Those sort of things can be done. I'm pretty sure we will do. But yeah, at the amenities, those things were discussed as well. Is my understanding. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone else? So yeah, and in terms of the recouping some of the costs from Wakefield Council, of course these things are being looked into. How successful we'll be on that, again, we can't answer for them, but of course we look to, we look into those sorts of issues, of course we do. And if anyone would like to add anything, please. No? Okay. Any other comments or questions? No? Okay, well, I'll move to the full meeting then. Can I move on to apologies then, please?
Yeah. So we have apologies recorded in the book for Councillor Marshall, Councillor Galvin, did you remember? Paul, yes,
Paul,
thank you.
There we go. Okay, does the council approve those apologies? Yeah, thank you. Item 3, declarations of interest and dispensations. To receive any declarations of interest not already declared under the council's code of conduct or a member's register of disclosable pecuniary interests on items on the agenda. And 3.2, to receive, consider, decide upon any written applications for dispensation for disclosable pecuniary interest and to grant those requests. Are there any disposable pecuniary interests. It's like a tongue twister, right? No, okay, thank you. Item 4, to receive available reports from the following. Do we have one from West Yorkshire Police?
Unfortunately, their stats literally only came in this evening, so what I will do is I will compile those and I'll send them by email tomorrow.
Yeah. So we'll receive those by email and... Okay. Wakefield District Councillors. We've got... Councillor President.
Well, the last time. Actually, with shelter, I'm afraid. I did get a call from a resident who did say there was issues with it. If you recall, we did have discussions over this with shelter in my very first year. I was a district councillor because it were moving. I remember you were saying something about it was a grey area who owned it and who took responsibility of that youth shelter. You weren't 100% sure at the time if it belonged to yourselves or Wakefield. So I'm taking that into account. I took it upon myself to get in touch with the health and safety of Wakefield. I then passed all the concerns over about the grey area and asked them to do a full looking into who owns it, who's responsible for it, and who should maintain it. And they're supposed to have got back to me, but believe it or not, Wakefield's cut my phone off and my laptop off now, so I can't get any information back. So what I'm going to have to do is ring up the lady who I talked to, find out where they are with the information, and I'll bring it back to you. I might pop through one of your meetings, because I'm not going to disappear over the night like that. I'm going to pop through, see everyone, and try and get you that information, and see where you can go from. Like I said, it's just that I think you're in a bit of a grey area with this one, because you're not 100% sure who owns it, who's responsible. This is what I'm getting from you, and until we get that laid down, who is really responsible for it, then we can move forward. But at the minute, I'm a health and safety man as well, it is dangerous. There's only one peg, what's holding it. I could shift it, I could move it, and I've got to dodge it out. And there's no structures to it, it moves, because what you've basically got, you had some back plates on it. Somebody's taken all that back, but they're strengtheners. They're to hold the old structure together. It's a skeletal structure, and you have strengthening plates around it. And you're supposed to have then the chairing round, which is bolted to it, which is another strengthener. That's how it all works. And the trouble is, what I noticed, the roof of it, if you looked at that, the original positioning of the bolts had moved. So you can see where they've been, and scrape marks where when you're checking it, then it's moved across. So I've always told you, cover yourselves, and this is one to be covered. If the youth decided they're going to try and push that over, I think they'll do it. So I would really try and cover yourselves on this one.
Sorry, do we know the name of the lady that you contacted just in case?
Yeah, well, I'll pass that information. I'll come back. I'll get all that information. It's in my diary. I've got it all written down. I've just got to find my diary. So I'll try and get all that information. I was going to give you a lot of the case numbers. I was going to go away, do all the case numbers, bring them in so everyone could. But they cut me off. I've got no network. Dead phone's dead. Nobody can get hold of me. And my laptop's gone down. Same again. 24th of January, both went. And so
I'm just thinking that if it is seriously damaged and unsafe, it's an immediate response that we need to do rather than wait.
That's what I was saying. I would do that.
No
it's covering yourselves, and until then, Wakefield's been told now they should take responsibility because they're senior above you. They should do this. They should go right. We'll step in. We'll look into this, and they should put taping around it or something.
I can also confirm that the lease that they've submitted, we've knocked back because of concerns with that lease.
And rightly so.
Councillor, so, like, in terms of whether Ackworth Parish Council is ultimately responsible or not, but obviously we don't negate the safety of people in the village, so therefore we will keep a close eye on it and make sure if we have to do whatever we need to do. So that's what we will do, but ultimately, no, we are not responsible because we haven't signed the lease.
Look,
So-
because this is what I'm saying about this grey area you're in, and you don't let them push things on you, what you don't want to take on, because I wouldn't take that on, because it's not fit for purpose. And
But we're not in a grey area if we're not responsible for it.
but the grey area is they don't know if you have it. This is what I got back from.
Well,
So-
they've sent us a lease and we've knocked that lease back. Well, once we approve the meeting minutes anyway.
Don't sign it. I wouldn't, because until once I get something which is not fit for purpose. So
So just to confirm that, I know that 100%
Good.
because that came through to a meeting and went out.
well, that's the action you've got to take. And
But obviously, as a parish council, we will keep an eye on that because where there's concerns, obviously, we pay due diligence and we take that duty seriously. So, yeah.
but that's it for me.
Okay.
And I'll be going now. So thank you very
All
much
right,
for that.
thank you very much.
Can I just set off our thanks to Ray for having come
Yeah,
along so
yeah,
often
yeah,
and
of
giving us
course. Yeah,
reports and updates.
That's no
Thank
problem.
you for your last
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
It's been a good 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, we can know that, of course.
Right, good luck in your cafe.
Yes, yeah.
All right then.
Thanks very much, Ray, for it now.
But I'll try and get that to you. I'll find out that name. I will try and get it investigated to you all. Okay?
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you. See you later.
Have we had any written reports from?
No.
No? Okay. Council representatives on outside bodies. Yeah.
So it's a heritage group meeting. Sorry, bear with me. The heritage group wanting to know about accessing the grave to deal with a lot of self-set trees in the wall. John Gully's grave. Could they be? Could they access it to maintain the site? Also, there's a blue plaque going up for Harry Miles, the photographer, and there is a date for that now, which I'm sorry I haven't written down. I think it's later in.
I think there were 2 days, one they're putting it up and then they're kind of open afternoon to have a look at it.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
You don't actually see somebody nailing it to the
A
wall.
matter of Mrs. Miles about it. There's going to be a stone cut to add to the co-op memorial for the quarryman. The gentleman crushed by rockfall in the 1930s who's been missed. There's apparently iron workings near Hessel Footpath behind Hessel Hall that are dated from around, I think, medieval times that have been discovered. The photo exhibition for Harry Miles' photos was very successful on Saturday, 17th of Feb. Lots of interest and really great day. And there is a boundary stone at Brig Lane sewage works which says here ends Ackworth, but unfortunately a lorry smashed it into the ditch, so they're looking into dealing with that. And they would still, if possible, like an update as to whether anything's happening with the school wall and whether any inquiries have been made of the school, of the governors or WMDC, and whether anything is going to happen about the wall that's been taken down next to the Howard School. Apparently it was built in 1833. The Howard School wall.
Yeah.
And I had in my head Ackworth School for a minute.
Sorry.
The other one. Yeah, no, thank you.
Yes. poor messenger. And
No. Oh, no.
also attended Pontefract and Ackworth Almshouses Trust, and the main piece of news is that they're looking for building land in Pontefract to build more almshouses rather than Ackworth. But they're in a very healthy position to be able to do that.
Excellent, thank you very much. Yeah, oh, sorry.
I've got a couple as well.
Yeah.
I did, well, we both did the Ackworth Almshouses one. And we both had a training day on almshouse management, which was really interesting. But in terms of Ackworth Almshouses, I don't think there's nothing, well, actually there is one thing, but just as a general update, they're putting damp proofing in the Mary Lowther properties, so they're all going to be damp proofed. Their only difficulty is the logistics, because people live in them and they can't live in them while the damp proofing's going on, so they're trying to but they're staggering that over the year. The only other one was they received a letter about Green Lane from the residents of Green Lane, which Susie's picked up about in his items 16.3 and tonight's. And then the other one was the PACT meeting I attended. Loads of things. Not much of it was Ackworth, I don't think. They talked about the firearms incident at South Elms or South Kirby, but apparently there's no concern for any of the community despite the firearms. Had an arson attack at Asda at South Elmsall, and they are pushing quite hard to stop the sales of illegal vapes to kids. For it, they've had some issues with boy races, but I think that was in the village. I think that was about it, other than the one that I've put on the agenda about a satellite police station, which is on, whatever it is.
I saw that.
16.2.
Yeah.
As a proposal, so I'll put it in there for
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I think that was it for the two that I attended at the room.
Sure.
Excellent, thank you.
Could I just ask a question about John Gully's grave and the maintenance of Susie's? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course.
Because my understanding, from a long time ago, that Jim Lamprey was maintaining it and had access to it and everything. So what's changed?
I think it's more because the permission for taking the trees out. Is that right? Yes, because of trees.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they are self-seeded, and it was just to check in about doing that.
Thank you.
Because otherwise they will make access to it difficult and take over the site.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll need to look into that then, I'm guessing, quicker.
Susie has emailed me.
Actually, it's already in hand.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's brilliant. Are there any other calls before we move on?
Well, just ask them, can we have an
Yeah,
update
of course.
from Low Ackworth Community Centre? Because I did see there was a meeting in January of the
Working
the Community Association.
Oh,
I don't know. I was the one.
Oh, because there were Facebook posts that there's been a meeting and a few things discussed, but we didn't have an update.
Another working group hasn't met?
No, it was the Low Ackworth Community Association.
There wasn't a meeting, no.
No, there wasn't a meeting.
Oh, that wasn't the impression I got from Facebook, but never mind.
I'll leave everything you read on Facebook.
Okay, so item 5 then, to approve the minutes of the Parish Council meeting held on the 5th of February 2024 to true and correct record. Sarah proposing, and
I've got a question
sorry.
actually, sorry.
Can I just take a seconder first? Then?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Can I take Nathan secondary? Yes.
It's only a little thing, but on Councillor Massey's report 4.2, it's down as Barnsley Road crossing, but I'm not sure, and actually unfortunately his word, it wasn't clear whether it was Barnsley Road or Doncaster Road, because he said crossing opposite or outside Orchard Drive. And so we've looked at two sites. One's Barnsley Road, one's Doncaster Road, but they're both effectively outside Orchard Drive. So I don't know if minute in Barnsley Road is correct.
Right,
I
that's a
don't,
bit of a tricky one to,
I can rename it Orchard Road, or I can contact Councillor Massey to confirm as a secondary.
Yeah. I mean, it may be right, but I'm not sure.
yeah.
I don't know now.
No.
Could we rename it Orchard Drive crossing? Oh, I suppose it's not very specific, is it?
No,
It's-
that's
it's-
that's- yeah.
Well, on that issue, regarding the Orchard Drive, whether it's Barnsley or Doncaster Road, I suppose the best thing to do on that would be to essentially double check that information, and if the minutes could be corrected with the correct Doncaster or Barnsley Road, and are we all happy for Gemma to see that through and make sure that that's minuted? If we just have a show of hands. Excellent, thank you. Is that all right, Gemma?
Yeah.
Before we delegate.
But make sure it's right.
Yep, so can I have a show of hands for the minutes being a true and correct record, and obviously Joe's just going to double check that specific. We've got a full house. Okay, so item 6, to receive information on the following ongoing matters arising. Clerk's update. 6.1, to receive an update from Wakefield Council following the approved amended proposal in November 23 relating to the upgrade of the crossing on Wakefield Road. Ackworth Parish Council investigate the possibility of upgrading the recently installed crossing on Wakefield Road to a light controlled trucking crossing. Further, and in addition, the Ackworth Parish Council petitioned Wakefield District Council and Highways to install more crossings on Wakefield, Doncaster and Barnsley roads as outlined in our original road safety plan.
So I've included this one as 6.1 in your packs.
Oh, thank you.